Our next topic is Voice over NR, that is VoNR call flow. We are seeing 5G standalone data services are rolling out throughout the world. It is very much essential for MNOs to provide services such as voice or video calls. To achieve this, 3GPP standards have defined that the 5G network must provide the voice services using 5G RAN, 5G core, and IMS. 5G radio technology is also known as new radio, and the voice services using 5G RAN, 5G core, and IMS is referred to as voice over new radio. Voice over NR network architecture is consist of 5G RAN, 5G core, and IMS network. A high level architecture is shown on the screen. Only major network functions are included. This network architecture supports services based on interface using HTTP protocol. Voice over NR key pointers are: Voice over NR rely upon IP multimedia subsystem to manage the setup, maintenance, and release or voice call connections. Then comes UEPDCP should support RTP and RTCP. Robust header compression and MAC layer should support DRX. Next is SIP is used for signaling procedures between the UE and IMS. Next comes Voice over NR uses a QoS flow with 5QI is equal to 5 for SIP signaling messages and QoS flow with 5QI is equal to 1. QoS flows with 5QI is equal to 5 is non-GBR but should be treated with a high priority to ensure that SIP signaling procedures are completed with minimal latency and high reliability. QoS flow with 5QI is equal to 1 is GBR. This QoS flow is used to transfer the speech packets after connection establishment. Next comes GNode B uses RLC AM mode DRB for SIP signaling and RLC UM mode for voice traffic RTP DRBs. Next comes 3GPP has recommended enhanced voice services codecs for 5G. EVS codec supports a range of sampling frequency to capture a range of audio bandwidths. These sampling frequencies are categorized as narrowband, wideband, super wideband, and full band. Next is Voice over new radio user equipment provides capability information during the NAS. Registration procedure with IEUE's usage setting indicates that the higher layers of the UE support the IMS voice service. Next is the AMF can use the UE capability request to get UE support for the IMS voice services. GNode B can get UE capability with RRC, UE capability inquiry and UE capability response to the UE. The UE indicates its support for IMS voice service with following IEs. First, IMS voice over NR FR1 R15. This field indicates whether the UE supports IMS voice over NR FR1. Second, IMS voice over NR FR2 R15. This field indicates whether the UE supports IMS voice over NR FR2. Our next topic is Voice over NR call setup. Voice over NR call flow is very much similar with VoLTE call. The overall voice over NR call flows includes 5 stages as shown in following picture. It starts from detecting a 5G NR cell and performing registration to 5G, GNode B and 5G core and establish the default PDU session with non-GBR QoS flow with 5QI is equal to 6 to 9 with data DNN. DNN is equal to APN in 4G LTE. After this, UE established the default internet PDU session with IMS DNN with non-GBR QoS flow and 5QI is equal to 5. Then UE does registration process with IMS using SIP messaging over default IMS PDU and establish voice over NR mobile originating or mobile terminating cell over dedicated PDU session with GBR QoS flow and 5QI is equal to 1. The voice traffic flow with RTP protocol over dedicated PDU session, and once conversion is over, the voice over NR call can be terminated with releasing dedicated PDU session. Voice over NR call flow. The voice over NR bearer setup and release process is as follows. When a UE initiates a call, an RRC connection is set up between the UE that receives the call and its serving G node B. The 5G core sets up a QoS flow with a 5QI of 5 for the called UE to carry SIP signaling, and the G node B sets up the corresponding DRB. An RRC connection is set up between the UE that receives the call and its serving G node B. The 5GC sets up a QoS flow with a 5QI of 5 for the called UE to carry SIP signaling, and the G node B sets up the corresponding DRB. The calling and called UEs and the IMS perform SIP negotiation on the codec scheme, IP address, port number, information of both calling and called UEs, and other voice service information. After SIP negotiation is successful, the 5G core sets up QoS flows with a 5QI of 1 for both the calling and called UEs to carry real-time transport protocol RTP and real-time transport control protocol RTCP data flows, and the G node Bs set up the corresponding DRBs. After the call ends, the calling and the called UEs release their QoS flows with a 5QI of 1, and the G node Bs release the corresponding DRBs. The default bearers with a 5QI of 5 are released only when the UEs enter the idle state. Our next topic is 5G NSA secondary node addition. This section is about how to add NR cell, secondary node, to an existing LTE cell, master node. Overall signaling flow is illustrated below. As you may notice, the process is initiated by MN, that is master node, LTE E node B in this case, and final confirmation is done by MME. Our step 1 is MN, that is LTE ENB, which we are considering as master node, sends SG node B addition request to SN, secondary node, G node B in this case. LTE E node B forward following information to NR G node B. First, ERAP characteristic, ERAP parameters, TNL address information. Second, the requested SCG configuration information including the entire UE capabilities and UE capability coordination result. Third, the latest measurement result for SN to choose security information to enable SRB3. In this case of bearer option that requires X2U between master node and secondary node, X2U TNS address information. In this case, the secondary node terminated split bearers, the maximum supportable QoS level. Step 2. If secondary node decided to accept the request, it sends SG node B addition request acknowledge performing followings. First, allocate the necessary radio resources transport network resources. Second, decides PSL and other SCG SLs and provide the new SCG radio resource configuration to master node. In case of bearer option that requires X2U between master node and secondary node, provides X2U TNS address information. In case of SCG radio resources being requested, provide SCG radio resource configuration. Step 3. If NR G node B accepts the secondary node addition request and provides all the necessary information to LTE E node B, LTE E node B generate RRC connection reconfiguration message carrying all the necessary information and send it to the UE. This message carries NR RRC connection configuration in it so that UE can figure out the necessary configuration information for the NR G node B. Step 4. After UE received RRC connection reconfiguration, it checks if all the configurations in the message is doable in UE side. It sends RRC connection reconfiguration complete message. This message includes NR RRC response as well. Step 5. Once master node, also known as LTE E node B, received RRC connection reconfiguration complete from UE, the MN informs secondary node NRG node B that UE has completed the reconfiguration procedure. Based on the information contained in NR RRC connection configuration, within RRC connection reconfiguration message, UE detects SS block, that is PSS, SSS and PBCH of NR G node B. Step 6. Once it successfully detects PSS, SSH, PBCH of NR G node B, it performs RACH procedure to PSL of the secondary node, that is NR G node B. UE acquire all the information required for RACH procedure from RRC connection reconfiguration message instead of SIB. This process is described in RACH process for LTE interworking, SNDC. Here I conclude this chapter. Hope you understand all the concepts clearly. Meet you in the next chapter.
If you have any queries, please get in touch with us by typing your comment in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Do like and subscribe to our videos. So what are you waiting for? Join us for the course and do subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Also, if you like our videos, don't forget to hit the like button and share our videos.